Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. Chapter 1. Oliver Twist was born. In a certain town, there was a workhouse among other public buildings. Oliver Twist was born there. He lay and gasped on a little flock mattress there. There was none like careful grandmother or experienced nurses to look after him, except a pampered old woman and a parish surgeon. But after a few struggles, Oliver breathed, sneezed, and cried loudly as a male infant could. Then a young woman was raised feebly from the pillow and said in a very weak voice, "Let me see the child and die." The surgeon sat towards the fire. He was giving the palms of his hands a warm and a rub alternately. When the young woman uttered this, he rose and went near her. "Oh, you must not talk about dying it." But she shook her head and stretched out her hand towards the child. The surgeon gave it in her arms. She kissed on its forehead and then died. The surgeon checked her breast, hands, and temples, but the blood had stopped forever. "It's all over, Mrs. Thingummy," said he to the nurse. She then bent down to take the child. The doctor told her to call him at a moment the child would cry. He also asked, "Where did she come from?" The old nurse said, "Last night she was found lying in the street and was brought here. None knew where she came from." Then the doctor leaned over the body and said, "The old story, no wedding ring." Then he left for dinner. The nurse proceeded to dress the child. Wrapped in the blanket, he might have been the child of a nobleman or a beggar. Now he was begged and ticketed. He fell into his place at once, a parish child, the orphan of a workhouse. They named him Oliver Twist. He cried aloud. If he could have known that he was an orphan, he would probably have cried the louder.